this game ends up going the distance here. Simply Welcome to Coda. Game number 5 of a potential best of 9 here on the hot seat by DingItTV. And spawning in the left-hand position as the blue Terran player representing Team Liquid.net. It's Bunny. His opponent spawning in the bottom right-hand position as the red Protoss player. He plays for Team Alternate Attacks. Currently putting up a good fight in WCS and doing quite well recently. Can he try and translate that form, though, into a win here? He's got a 2-game deficit to turn around. It's ShoWTimE. I wonder if that's why he picked the nickname, so that when people were introducing him, it would be, it's ShoWTimE. I don't actually know. I will make a point of asking him a little bit later on, maybe after the series concludes. I'd be interested to know why. So far, Bunny continuing to go with the same opener here, by the looks of things. Just going that barracks into gas. I would be not quite horrified, but slightly surprised if we don't see a Reaper. I mean, he did start off the series, of course, with some interesting shenanigans, but he seems to have settled into a rhythm now. And Bunny in a rhythm almost always just screams Reaper, 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 Reaper. And speaking of which, Reaper, 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 Reaper. So just nice and solid coming out of our Team Liquid player. In the meantime, we have an SCV scout. We'll be able to see not too much. I wonder if you'll spot this pylon. I think this pylon's used to spot drops as opposed to hiding tech, by the way. Even if the SCV doesn't see it, it's really just to see what happens when the drop ships get in, so that he has as much notice as possible. And yeah, he's not going to be able to scout that corner of the base, but that's not a big deal. Won't get down in time to stop the Nexus from going down. That's going to be slightly annoying. And we'll be able to see the Chrono Boost out on the Mothership Core, trying to potentially block the gas as well, and that gets taken by ShoWTimE, so this poor SCV is getting shut down. But Bob will not be denied, ladies and gentlemen. And here we go. Can we get some worker kills in this game? Well, Mothership Core says, I would like a word with you, Mr. Reaper Man. And, oh, well, it's going to be close, but Reaper is going to have to get the heck out of Dodge. He's moving up north. We'll see the pylon there now as well, so nice little bit of scouting. Potential for him to check out what's going on there. We'll be able to see off the edge of that cliff. The Reaper comes in again as it starts going towards full health. The Twilight Council gets put down. The Twilight Council gets scouted. Nice. Oh, and picks up a worker as well while he's at it. Really, really nice bit of play coming out of there from Bunny. Good micro. And ShoWTimE at the moment. Okay, it's not like some sort of big reeling blow. It's more like almost bruising your pride, if you like. Having the Mothership Core and the Stalker just come out, and then to have a worker die to a Reaper does kind of suck. But I mean, it's not like it's game ending or something like that. So, we have double Hellion production coming out of here from Bunny. Are we potentially going to be seeing some armory play in Hellbats against Protoss? Could be fun. Are we planning Probe Barbecue? Also could be a thing. Really, the imperative right now is on ShoWTimE to scout this, defend it adequately, and then win on the counterattack. Because right now, it feels like he's setting himself up to be relatively, I want to say relatively passive going into the mid-game. He's being very careful around this cliff area. These two Stalkers are sort of venturing slightly away from home and then moving straight back, not wanting to deal with that too much. And these Hellions are now popping out in... Oh, I wonder if they were... Well, the first two Hellions are going to try and pop out here. Notice, by the way, that we have Widow Mines straight after this. So I wonder if you meant to build Widow Mines and then accidentally build Hellions. They are D and E, after all, at the factory. Number of workers killed... Oh, there we go, getting 2 more. So up to 5, actually, so that was all right. That was all right. 4 workers for 2 Hellions there, so as far as gold cost, it's the same. But, of course, the lost mining time makes it suck a little bit. And we now have the Widow Mine drop. Again, just the 2 Widow Mines from the single medevac. We've seen Bunny do this all series long. We have the reactor swap back onto the barracks now as we get more and more units coming out. Second gas being taken. No third gas just yet. We'll be reserving those in the natural for later. All 4 gases have now been taken for ShoWTimE. On the other hand, and we're building a couple of additional gateways now as well. So Blink is about to complete as the Widow Mines land, and there is no... oh dear, there's no observer. Only the 1 worker killed by that Widow Mine shot. 2 workers killed from that one. Not optimal, but okay. It looks like at least one of them is going to get saved. The second one, they're still inside the mineral line. The observer is going to be able to stop that. We're going to see the second Widow Mine coming back down here. Well, it's still on cooldowns. It's unlikely that's going to be able to do that immediately. But this medevac is being held in reserve. And you can see there's 200 energy now on the mothership core. So 2 photon overcharges if necessary. This is a very annoying place, I suppose, on the map for a medevac to be, though. Unless you have like a Phoenix, it's basically impossible to get to that position. So you just have to be constantly defending against these drops. So not something that's all that comfortable on Coda. And we have a second medevac with a single Widow Mine coming up here. Looks like the first one will get picked off. It does get picked off. Really nicely done. But the second one inside the natural will kill off a couple more workers. The workers killed total, guys, has now risen to 10 for the game. So once again, those drops at the same time, trying to inflict damage on the worker count at both bases simultaneously, paying some dividends for Liquid Bunny. He's currently behind on workers, 46 to 47, but with double mules as well, he should be fairly okay in this position. Now we have the double ups, and this time we do have the stim and combat shield combination coming in there. And more and more reactors. This factory is basically a reactor machine at the moment. It's just constantly producing those for new barracks to pop up so that he can ramp up his production as quickly as possible. 1-1 attacks on the way for our Protoss player. Only the +1 attack for our Terran, but it's not actually going to line up with Stim and Combat Shield now that I think about it. The +1 attack is going to be done way before the other two. Whereas 1-1 is fairly evenly aligned for Protoss, and we've got extended thermal lands coming out as well. So I feel like ShoWTimE, once those upgrades complete, is going to be in a decent position here. So we'll see what happens. If you pardon me for just a moment. And done. Little bit of a hiccup on the stream there, but that should be fixed as of right this second. So let's go ahead and sort that out. There we go. And in the meantime now we have an attack coming in from Liquid Bunny. Good scout. Once again, really, really good that he's able to see those observers and kill them off sort of mid-flight there. He's done a really, really good job of that. And now we have a single Marine just moving out, trying to find out where the pylons are, where the reinforcements are, if the army is moving somewhere offside. And he will be able to spot that underneath this lockdown airlock is actually a Nexus in production. Lockdown airlock. Dude, how is that an airlock? That's just the ground. I mean, do you break this apart and there's like some century-old air in there? I don't even know how that works. There is no airlock there. I don't know what you're on about. Don't even know, mate. But anyway, double Widow Mine production still continuing to happen. We have the +1 armor now incoming as well. And 1-1 is already complete for our Protoss, and that means +2 armor is coming in. So we're going to be seeing some additional upgrades very soon. Double drop going on inside the main base. We also have another army coming through the third as well. This next is definitely going down. We'll be going back to that drop right now to see how much of that survives. It looks like a decent amount of it. Workers killed. It was 10 before. It's 13 now. So in terms of economic damage done to the worker line, not that much. But importantly, he picks off the third base Nexus. And ShoWTimE right now, I actually think he's reeling. This is a really frustrating and difficult situation for him to be in. He feels like he can't really move out of his base right now because the aggression with this positioning on the bottom right of his base is just so good for his Terran opponent. Notice that this Mothership Core never strayed from being in a good position. It was able to straddle both bases and make sure that we can deliver against a threat at either the main base or the natural. That's just really, really good. And this Mothership Core has to do something about that, and it did, but still, they couldn't stop the Nexus from going down. The third base was just too far away. So once again, the airlock treatment is coming down here, and we'll keep an eye on those two medevacs in the southeast position of the map. In the meantime, absolutely no threats to the Terran right now. Hallucinated Phoenix coming in just to be amusing. And Bunny, well, I mean, these guys are going to get tickled. They might be a little bit afraid, but generally speaking, I think they're just annoyed. And I think they've caught on the fact that it's actually fake now. We have an observer following the army, knows that it's come out around this side, also has seen the third command center here as well, by the way, which is pretty useful information. But what can ShoWTimE do about it? He's at 127 supply versus 180. He has to take... He basically needs to sit back and defend and take a really, really good engagement. At that point, there might be an opportunity. Nice scan there. We'll be able to see the edges of the army. And, okay, there we go. Spots the army now, and that tells me that these medevacs might be going towards the main base very soon. So let's keep an eye on whether they want to be dropping here while this army pressures the third base location. That, to me, would be the play that Bunny is most likely to go for at the moment. An observer directly over this army, and once again, a good scan from Bunny, spotting that from when his screen was on it and instantly getting rid of the observer, trying to shut down as much information as ShoWTimE has, paying a stalker for the information that the army is still up there. Not an ideal situation indeed. Our Protoss is at 150 supply. Now he's 2-2 versus 1-1 supply. So the upgrades are definitely in his favor right now. Here come the medevacs into the natural expansion. They're unloading. And have we got a... Yes, we do have a photon overcharge there, but now we look at the third base location. So the photon overcharge should be able to stop this drop. You can see they're actually moving inside the main base right now. And the medevac full of units gets killed off as well. Okay, that's great. That's done. But now, let's take a look at this pressure. 1-1 versus 2-2 supply, but Bunny with a 30 supply advantage right now. Those drops actually got cleaned up, and the fact the full medevac got picked off there inside the main base is very, very big, because ShoWTimE can just focus all of his attention on defending the front. And a scan, just seeing all of the army there. Guardian shield going up as well in front of the Colossi. Ooh, needs to be careful if he's separating that from his gateway units, guys. That might be an invitation to say, why don't you come and stim in, bro? And you don't want that at all. He's just trying to pick off a couple of those Vikings right now. Number of Vikings on the field, 15. It looks like the engagement is about to happen. 6, now 5 Colossi on the field. An awful lot of DPS, and I think there's a chance we're going to see overwhelming here. But great force fields on the left-hand side. Are the hallucinated Colossi enough? A couple of them getting taken out as well. Only 2 Colossi left. There are still Vikings on the field, but the Stalkers are starting to kill them off. And ShoWTimE survives. He takes that good engagement we've been waiting for all game long. And yes, okay, there are 2 Widow Mines here, but he's done what he's had to do. 19 workers killed, up from 13. That's annoying. 64 to 53 workers. That's annoying. But ShoWTimE was 50 supply behind at one point. He's now 20 supply behind. He's bought himself a little bit of breathing space, but now needs to shut down these expansions. So, step 1, take a favorable engagement. Step 2, shut down expansions. Step 3, win a head-to-head fight. ShoWTimE has now completed step 1. We need to go into step 2 territory now. And this is a good start. Oh, and the command center is going to finish. Oh, wow. He moved the SCV into the command center and back out to save it as well. Excellent micro from Bunny. And, well, poor Zealot. This Zealot had one job, guys. One job. Couldn't do it. 4th base going down now for ShoWTimE as well, though. We have a Blink Stalker hit squad coming in to try and kill off... Well, he needs to do that quickly, because that's going to become, actually, a planetary fortress. If he waits too much longer, well, that's just a PF now. He could have blinked up and killed off a bunch of workers. Instead, he's going to meet this army in the middle of the map, and that's dangerous. Oh, he sees that the blink has been used as well, so it's okay to stim forward, because he knows the army can't blink away. Number of Stalkers go down there. And Bunny is remaxing at the moment. Picks off that pylon that we said was in a slightly precarious position before. Is he going to lift everything up into the main base? There is a potential for that to happen. We have a couple of units over here. It looks like 2 probes are going to be able to kill off an SCV. Well, +2 armor is actually pretty strong, guys. And Mortal Kombat says, there it goes. No units ended up coming up into this base. We have more and more gateways coming down now for our Protoss. ShoWTimE currently on 150 supply. Bunny ending up maxing out again, and he's evened out on the upgrades, by the way. He's at 2 all. We're now going to see 3-3 for the Protoss, and that is an advantage, but it's only an advantage for roughly the next in-game minute or so. 3-3 versus 2-2, but we've got 3-3 on the infantry incoming. Another scan to pick off an observer here. And, well, I mean... Where does ShoWTimE go from here? He took that favorable engagement. He has not shut the bases down. We were talking about how crucial that might have been. And without shutting those bases down, this head-to-head engagement could be trickier because Bunny is just able to build up a bank off the back of this. There are fewer Vikings at least. It's 8 Vikings versus 4 Colossi. But, oh, he's just going to snipe the Nexus. He doesn't even care. Honey Bunny, ladies and gentlemen. Honey Bunny gives absolutely no tosses, and certainly no pro tosses at this rate. No fewer than 2 Nexi are going down right now. He is a little bit cornered. Is he lifting up into all his medevacs, or is he just taking this straight on engagement? There are a lot of zealots here. ShoWTimE not only has to win this engagement, he has to win this engagement and take out a lot of bases. Oh, poor probes. What did they do? And here we go. 31 workers killed. This could be the battle that simply decides the game. 180 versus 130 supply. Excellent start to the engagement, though. Good force fields. Good micro with the medevac to try and move those injured units behind. Still 3 Colossi existing, though. And they are dealing so much damage to these bioforces. A very, very cost-effective engagement there. But there are now few enough bioforces that Bunny can actually lift up and head away. ShoWTimE needs to counterattack, I feel, off the back of this. Because... okay, if you look at the supplies, 122 to 135, it's not actually that terrible. But if you look at the positions we're in, where we actually have that Nexus gone, this Nexus gone, that's really going to hurt the income. And you don't want a situation where that income just goes to pot. And if you take a look here, guys, this has been completely fine over here at the 3rd base. At the 4th base, the planetary fortress has been completely undisturbed. And we've also got the 5th command center gone down here as well. So very, very difficult for ShoWTimE because the economy from Bunny has never been shut down. The economy for ShoWTimE has now been shut down twice. And that, I feel, unfortunately, is the difference here. I mean, we might be able to make a difference with Psionic Storm. We've got an awful lot of DPS, and you guys know what happens when a Protoss maxes out his army, man. As Todd would say, what was it that he said in the Ding It Invitational? If you open the Protoss book of bullshit and something doesn't work, you just turn to the next page. But one thing that I think all players agree when they're susceptible to this, that they find really frustrating if a Protoss executes it well, is the sheer amount of DPS damage we can get on area of effect. So these Colossi, awful lot of AoE damage. Storms, awful lot of AoE damage. Potentially together, they can wipe out an entire bio army in seconds. And that's the kind of engagement here we're going to be looking for from ShoWTimE. Bunny appears to be moving to this location over here to cement his 5th base. He's got 3 Vikings and Ghosts now as well, though. So 13 Ghosts and 9 Vikings is a very, very healthy number. And, well, there are only 5 Colossi here. I think he might fancy his chances moving in. Here comes a Ghost, potentially with an EMP. That's 1 EMP. Really, really nice, striking a decent number of those units. Can't quite tell, but I think most of them are Zealots, so he didn't quite get the High Templars at least. And our Protoss taking out their frustration on the debris here. But Bunny, I mean, he needs to avoid a bad engagement here. It's so easy for Terrans to get complacent, stim in, and then before you know it, Colossi plus Storm takes out everything. And it looks like he's opting actually to move out instead. Oh, hang on a second. No, he's decided against that actually. This army looks pretty scary. And he wants to deal with it head on and try and win the game that way. Forcing the lift, but crucially, not killing it off. And it looks like... well, Bunny's going to have to engage, otherwise the top right base is forfeit. Excellent Storms to start off with, but a lot of these Ghosts are still on half health here, and so many EMPs! The High Templars, though, in the back are relatively well protected, and they've got a good amount of energy still, so this fight is not over yet. Do we have an observer with this army? I think we do. Yeah, he managed to spot those. And a good storm. We still got a couple of storms left in reserve, by the way. This isn't over, but where are the Stalkers? They're nowhere to be found, and these Vikings are taking good pot shots off on the Colossi. Some snipes coming in from the Ghost now as well. And from ShoWTimE's point of view, well, those Ghosts are looking pretty invisible. And this, I think he can just kite back and wait until the Colossi are dead right now. Good storm. Very good storm. Is it enough? This is cost-effective potentially for ShoWTimE, but only 1 Colossus left, and that's really the killer in this position. He's back down to a situation where he's at roughly 80 supply versus roughly 110 supply. He's killed off some medevacs, but he cannot resupply as quickly. His economy has been shot too many times. GG. And Liquid Bunny will go 4-1 up, ladies and gentlemen, in the hot seat. Can he make it 2 5-1s in a row?